Moving on to Group D. It's Crazy Raccoon! From Europe, please welcome Foot Esports! And rounding up Group D, it's SK Gaming! So there you have it. Our 6 teams have come tantalizingly close to the trophy. Will one of these 6 be the team to be crowned the winners at the end of this weekend? Well, we need to get through day 2 first. So let's head over to Trav and Kenny to talk you through what's about to go down on this stage.
It's day 2 of the Brawl Stars World Finals, and another 6 teams enter the fray, but only 4 can proceed to day 3 and try and strike gold and become the world champions. I am Trav, and I'm joined here by the Kung Fu master himself, Kenny. How are you feeling after day 1?
Day 1 was full of surprises. I think many of us did not expect teams like in Group A to show up the way they did. But Group C and D are established players, established teams in Brawl Stars. There are no freebies today. And I'm going to go on a bold statement and say this might be the toughest day of Brawl Stars of all time to date.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to agree with you as well, because Group C and Group D are looking so stacked. And I'd say partially because of myself, to be fair, after that drawing, it was very difficult to get out of that LCQ alive. But at the same time, let's take a little bit of a look at the format, see what we're going to be playing through over today and tomorrow as well. See what we've already played through, Kenny. Talk us through it.
Well, day 1, of course, we had 3 teams apiece in Groups A and D. Today, we will do the same with Groups C and D. 3 teams apiece, single round robin. It's going to be top 2 from each of the groups advancing to a single elimination bracket on day 3, which will be so incredibly intense. I mean, Group A's teams were already stacked in day 2. I'm already prepared for some chaos as well.
Well, with that said, let's see what the teams are going to be playing for on day 3, and obviously what they're playing for today and yesterday as well. The prize pool is looking stacked in 2023. $750,000 in total, where first place will take home $250,000 of it, second place with $150,000, third to fourth $85,000, fifth to eighth $30,000, and even the teams who went out yesterday and a couple of teams will go out today will take home $15,000, Kenny.
That's a lot of cash on the line, and of course pride alongside it as well. Again, this is the most stacked we've ever felt Brawl Stars has been coming into this event. I think many of us would agree there is not a clear contender for this. There are a lot of teams that are more than capable of taking this home, and I think a lot of them are in these Group C's and D's.
It's sad to see that, you know, every single one of these teams deserves to not only get to day 3, but in my eyes, every single one of them could win the World Finals, and that's saying something. It's sad to say we've got to say goodbye to a couple of them because of how stacked this competition is. With that said, let's take a bit of a look at the groups, because we had A and B past us yesterday. Should see this reflected on this graphic now, where Luminosity Gaming and Revenant Esports was victorious in Group A. B
on to day number 3, more importantly. Absolutely insane. Every one of these matches are going to be some of the craziest we've seen. And I think, again, even though the caster hive mind is all matching today, I don't think that's fair and a good representation just of how good these teams are. I think every single matchup is going to be very difficult to call, including our very first one here.
So talking of matchups, this is a massive one to start off day number 2 of the Brawl Stars World Finals 2023, where Zeta Division will face off against STMN Esports. Gero, Meow, and Naui will come against Zar, Bobby, and Sans in an absolutely beautiful matchup for day number 2 of the Brawl Stars World Finals. The teams are ready to enter the stage, so let's see how they're doing.
Thank you, guys. Sweden, are we ready to bring on some teams? All right, keep that energy up for me, please, as we welcome our first team from Europe. It's Zeta Division! Naui, Gero, and Meow made a disappointingly early exit back at Worlds in 2022. However, this time they are here to show they have learned, they've grown, and they are ready to take this competition by storm. And their competition in our opening matchup of Group C today. It is STMN! Don't call this one a comeback, call it an anticipated return, because the North Americans did have to go through the last chance qualifier to make it here. But now they're gonna be taking this opportunity by the handles. So there we have it. One last time, Yonjabin, give it up for your teams. Let's head back over to Kenny and Trav to talk us through the action.
Well, let's get down to the real nitty-gritty of this matchup, Kenny. 2 powerhouse teams of Zeta Division coming through at EMEA as the #1 seed direct to World Finals. STMN, it really wasn't that straightforward.
No, not as straightforward at all, although I will say at ESL Mobile Masters, STMN really impressed me. I think in the LAN setting, something about it gives them a buff. And Zeta Division as well, though, like you said, conquered the EMEA region. That is as stacked of a region as it gets. There's so much depth to it, so many teams across so many countries. So the fact that they were consistent enough to come out #1 with several grand finals wins, mega impressive.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had some third-party stuff this year. SPS has been huge for both of these teams. Zeta Division came first in the Season 3. They were the champions of that, but haven't qualified to Season 4. And I think that's a huge point to touch on, considering they just haven't been in form at all. They've just been looking really, really poor recently, and I'm really excited to see if they're going to be able to get back in the groove at the World Finals. 68% of the public think they are going to do just that, whereas only 32 signing with STMN.
I get it, right? I mean, after all, Zeta Division in the LAN event that they played at in SPS Season 3, they won, and it wasn't dominant, I would say, but they were certainly convincing, especially against hot teams like Foot, SK, who were in this tournament as well. I mean, they beat some tough teams to get here. But STMN on paper, you may look at them as the #2 seed from NA West, but every single year, these guys have improved, and I was very impressed, especially with their marquee win of a 3-0 in the opening group stages of the halfway point in the year at ESL Mobile Masters. I am expecting these guys to continue to grow. I'm going to believe in the upside with these guys. But again, with the people at home, I get it. Zeta Division were the #1 seed from EMEA, and despite struggles more recently, heck, it's the World Finals. It's the big stage, and these guys have come to play on big days.
I mean, that's the thing, you know, the EU region is the most watched region, and for those returning people, Zeta Division have been dominating all year long. 3 monthly final wins, a 2nd place, and they did manage to get 5th to 8th in July and April as well. So they had a couple of poor months, but the good months really made up for it. The ups and downs were there, but the highs were higher than the lows.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said just for the EMEA region as a whole. I mean, there are a lot of teams being represented here. They're showing at LCQ, really reflected to me the depth the region has, how successful they were. I mean, all 4 of those teams for LCQ representatives made it to day #2 for LCQ, and 2 of them even showed up here today. It's just so intense. I think there's something to be said for that. But as well, I still think STMN are going to be a strong opposition when it came to prepping, to planning for ESL Mobile Masters. I felt like their opening day was something special, and I think if you give these guys ample time with the maps, and scouting their opponents, I think they can get the job done.
I mean, that's the thing, you know, STMN had to come through LCQ, but they showed us at LCQ why they deserve to be at Worlds, beat Clash, VN Esporting, and Reject. And Reject, they've been, you know, causing problems for Crazy Raccoon all year long, and it was a quick 3-0 sweep to STMN. We're going to start things off in Hard Rock Mine in Gem Grab, where 8-Bit will be the first pick from Zeta Division. I like that start. Obviously going to be able to TP away when you're in danger. Ban-wise, we're looking at the Sandy, Stu, and Colette from Zeta Division, and STMN going to get the Charlie out the way. No surprise there. And the Sandy and Rosa too.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to see Charlie again today. Yesterday, 27 bans, and fun fact, there were 27 sets yesterday. 100% of the time, the team that had the first pick were not allowed to select that brawler. Mr. P going to be taking us on the 2-3 turn here. Sandy, another one that's very popular in this map. And I will say, Zeta Division taking 8-Bit, he is a powerful brawler, but I know in the North American meta, especially with STMN, they have praised this brawler as just a solid brawler overall, but especially on a mode like Hard Rock Mine and Gym Grab, he's special with the TP.
I mean, that's the thing, though, you know, because they praise it so much, they must have played against, they must know how to counter it. And obviously, they think that Ruffs and Mr. P are the brawlers to be able to do just that. But Buster added to the mix as well. That's going to be a real hard time for Mr. P. Hasn't got the DPS to deal with it. And when he's bouncing those shots back with the shield, it's going to be even harder as well. You kind of just question, STMN, they're going to have to get a lot of power-ups with this Ruffs here. That's the only way they're going to be able to combat this Buster. And Zeta and a Rico as well to be able to bring that bounce ability back to them as well as STMN.
I'm wondering if STMN go with the Shelly here. I see we have some really tanky brawlers on the Zeta Division side. And Mr. P, solid, but this will be a good opposition as well. They have to get some way to deal with the high health points and maybe even use Lou as a mid. Now they got a little versatility in this composition. All I know is when I see that they have Buster and 8-Bit, the amount of health points and HP and just the amount of firepower that they have, Colonel Ruffs, Mr. P, not necessarily going to be those quick kill kinds of brawlers or your top fraggers for your team, but Lou is something special right now in the meta. The hypercharge has really elevated him. He was a top 3 played brawler and also top 3 in bans as well. So he's just consistent. He's shown up a ton. It's just a special brawler right now.
I mean, it really is. You see, I see all the way through, and I'm enjoying the Zeta Division draft more than anything. But then this Lou comes through, and you know that can change a game with a click of his fingers. Getting into it there in first game of day 2 of the World Finals. Meow starting strong on the right-hand side, getting a few bounces round. But initially, STMN seem on top.
Makes sense to throw Bobby in the mid for me here. They're going to be wanting to contend against Nowie, who's on the Buster, and of course, having him in the mid, throw it on ice rings to gain area control. I think it's going to work really well, but Meow already marching down this right-hand side. Rico lane is such a tough thing to deal with on this map.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not sure if they, well, obviously they can't really send the Ruffs over to that side either. Oh, great stuff. Oh, going through with the multi-ball launcher. Meow takes 2 down. Gero's going to be able to claim those gems nice and easy. No pushback from STMN on grabbing those. Meow surely going to go down. Multi-ball launcher used once more, but now he picks a kill up on the left-hand side. And Gero should be able to keep control a little bit longer. Turret going to be placed down, but he's going to get that. Oh, just manages to get back to his TP before Sans cleans it up.
That's a great demonstration of exactly what 8-Bit can bring to the table on this map, especially if you use the gear that allows for an extra gadget as well. Now you've got 4 teleports a game along with your super, and if Gero's beaming the way he is, this is going to look like easy money for Zeta Division. But fortunately for STMN, they've reclaimed the mid. They have access to gaining these mines, and they are going to be able to pile up some gems as a result.
I mean, Meow just walks up the lane, uses the gadget, and he gets a kill. Bobby's going to go down as well. Now Gero versus Zara in this mid. TP back as the 10th gem spawns. Gero starts the count for Zeta Division, and STMN have got work to do.
With 12 seconds to go, they're going to have to hustle here, focusing Czar right now. It's going to be a trade there as Meowie releases the super. Bobby misses the hypercharge as well. The TP, the freeze goes down though. They get the pickup. Bobby in position for another super as well. Zeta able to pick up 10 gems, but a reset of the countdown.
And Meow reclaims those gems. Now he's just going to try and deflate this pressure, go for the aggressive play, but he goes down, and now he's going to be respawning back all the way. Czar going to be able to throw this down. Good kill from Meow though. 5 seconds on the clock, and Sans is nowhere to be seen. Zeta take game 1.
Whew, came down to the wire a little bit though. Zeta Division, some big beams coming in through 8-Bit. And I think there's one way to describe how they played that. They just used brute force and walked it down the middle. I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like they just took advantage of the composition that they're bringing. You know, I've heard mixed comments on Buster in the meta, but I just think when you pair all of these brawlers together, you have a top frag with a lane with Rico. I think this is a strong composition here, and I think it's something that might be able to get the job done.
Well, game number 2 kicks off. Zeta Division can close this first set out already if they manage to win this this one. A great start from Gero there as he beams down Bobby. Should be able to pick up these 2 gems off his side, but take some heavy fire to the face, almost frozen down. And Meow trying to make some moves on the right-hand side. Obviously, Bouncy Castle isn't his gadget of choice, so can't just heal up when he wants to.
Meow just going to take some time here to breathe. Gero still in the mid here, drops his first super now. Looking to isolate against Mr. P, who's going to have to recover. Bobby taking over the left-hand side to freeze onto Naui as well. And this Lu versus Buster matchup is something they're going to be looking forward to. Lu, a very solid option into these tankier brawlers. The freezes can get some extra added benefit. And just like that, he's got a super, he's got a hypercharge, and that could shift the entire game.
Yeah, power up along the way as well, so going to be able to do more damage. And a bit more HP along the way. There's the hypercharge. Now he's going to be frozen solid on the spot. Bobby cycles it out as well. Gero's going to be his next target. Gets the super on him too. Instant freeze. Meow defending well, but he's on it now as well. Slipping and sliding, can't move anywhere. And STMN reclaim control.
This is how STMN have to play this composition. They have to have area control, and they have to pick one brawler at a time and focus it. You saw immediately Bobby finds the matchup onto Naui, gets the super freeze, gets the easy lineups, and Gero's going to have to recover as a result too. Sans and Meow have been fighting all set long, though. They're going to be trying to get a piece of the action here as Gero is forced to get some assistance there under the strong player in Sans, and all of a sudden Zeta Division looking a little more alive.
Yeah, reclaiming some ground now. Now he's got to make a move down this left-hand side and get something going. TP back. Not sure if that was really needed, to be honest. They had some great control with him up there. Bobby's going to have this super, and now he's not going to know he has. There's the gadget as well to get some freeze off, but not fully frozen just yet. Meow destroying on the right-hand side. Gets 2, just are alive. Gero grabs those gems. TP's out, and Zeta start the count yet again.
It's a runaway once again. The teleportation showing its value now. Sans in pursuit. Zar on the right hand in low HP. Meow defending his teammate now. Sandbags on the ground as Gero goes to the left. Gonna have to defend against Bobby here, and Mr. P not gonna be able to do enough damage. Our European #1 seed takes set #1.
Well, I mean, they really went. Zeta went down to the grave, and now they have risen again, because this is the Zeta we've been seeing all year long, and they're back and ready to fight at the World Finals.
You know, I love Lu as a brawler. I see where STMN are coming from there. I'm not sure how to feel about that 2-3 turn. I almost felt like it was a lot harder work for them. They were still competing. They were still contending. The mechanics were good, but I feel like Zeta Division just set themselves up for a little bit more success. I felt like that was really hard for STMN to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, Zeta had the game before it. They even loaded in. The draft went so right for them. If you can pick up Rico on a map like this, you know it's going to be solid. Same with the Buster. He might have not done much in Game 2, but Game 1 he destroyed. And I mean, there was a little bit of a reset here, but STMN couldn't get any gems out in either of the games. And they looked good in Game 2, don't get me wrong. STMN looked very good in Game 2. But the massive turnaround coming in from Meow on this right-hand side, I think this is it here. Multi-ball launcher, super, and it's gorgeous. So good from him, and I missed it in the moment, but I'm glad I got to see it again now.
Yeah, that's a highlight reel of a play right there. I mean, Meow just absolutely crushing with that super, and it's shown in the kill feed as well. 9 and 266 DPS. Gotta think that was an MVP kind of play for that set.
Yeah, I mean, 9 kills for Meow, that's absolutely huge, but look at the DPS on the side of STMN. It's absolutely huge, and overall, you know, the kills are looking higher than the average of that of Zeta Division, but it's not about that. It's about getting those gems and getting back to your spawn with them successfully, and that's what Zeta did so well.
I'm really impressed so far, so good for them. I think this is going to be tough just throughout the entire day, obviously, but Group C is something special, and now STMN gonna have to just move forward one at a time here. Kaboom Canyon gonna be our next map of choice. And I found Kaboom Canyon to be a little bit interesting when studying scrims this week, when watching yesterday. A brawler that's obviously one of my favorites, but really surprised me that he showed up as much as he did is Gale. Tribe Gaming, especially yesterday.
Don't get me started.
This brawl. Okay, buddy. Don't hate. I was surprised too, though. Genuinely, I'm as big as advocate. Love the guy. But I was really shocked to see as much as I did of him. I mean, he was one of the most played brawlers, had about a 50% win rate yesterday. But people are using the spring ejector on this map, and I'm still a little shocked that they do.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, there's no real point of bringing the twist, you know, it's not really going to do that much for you. Cordelia's going to be the first pick coming in from STMN, and I really like that. And to touch on your point, look where Gale is, Kenny. Clearly has got some legs in this game mode and map, because it's banned out by STMN.
The meta is just so interesting right now, too. We've got a lot of hypercharged brawlers. We have Charlie in the mix, but you got to keep those long-range options in mind, too, which is why you're going to see somebody like Nani entering the ban stage. I think a very slept-on and powerful brawler in the meta. Colette is an absolute monster on this map as well. The hypercharge adding some benefit, but already a high DPS option, and especially in a tankier meta, is going to be a problem. But it's about time we introduce the Train Conductor here today. This is a map where Chuck is going to shine.
And it's bold. It's really bold because it's been played, it's worked sometimes, it's failed others. And it's a very hit or miss brawler. I said this yesterday, you either do so well with it or you get absolutely destroyed. And Cordelius, in my eyes, is the best counter to it on this map. And it was first picked by STMN, and they still go with Chuck into it, clearly confident in that pick.
I guess they're just really relying on the DPS that it can bring. But to your point, we've seen this be a direct answer into Chuck. Cordelius is somebody that can shut up the Shadow Realm, throw them down under, and the second that happens, even mid-super for Chuck, it's going to get disrupted. He's going to be more vulnerable. Of course, Cordelia is getting a little buff in the underworld as well. Another high DPS option, though, is Lola. I think Zeta Division are making it pretty clear. They are looking to attack, attack, attack.
Definitely makes sense. Good DPS, but even more DPS coming out of STMN now as 8-Bit joins Cordelius on their side. They have this last pick, but Zeta Division have that final one. So we'll see what STMN go. They're going to have to be pretty versatile here, because obviously Zeta Division, they're pretty good at drafting, pretty good at pivoting on the fly. And they're going to go with a Jessie. Don't love it, don't hate it, but overall, I'm really liking STMN's comp.
We saw STMN utilize this brawler over at LCQ in this mode as well, and it can really provide a lot of output onto the high safe as well. You know, it's interesting. I don't think Cordelius is necessarily built to be that offensive threat, but they pair their other two picks with 8-Bit, who's just, I think, a powerful brawler. The other side hasn't really chosen a wall break option, so I'm curious to see if they do for the turrets or maybe go with something like a Bell for the bounce shot. But they're going to go with the spawners in Eve to kind of traverse over this water. But into the hatchlings as well. You know, we've got Jessie going here, so I feel like there are definitely a couple of matchups favored for STMN.
Yeah, I mean, Jessie into the Eve, bouncing off those babies, bouncing off Lola's ego. It's a very solid pick, and it kind of feels like Zeta Division are picking into very heavy counters in my eyes. I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but Chuck into a Cordelius, Eve and Lola into a Jessie, it feels a little weird for me.
I think STMN's composition just plays really well into Zeta Division's comp, and then on top of that, it's good for Heist. I mean, it's hard to really nitpick at STMN right now, where Zeta Division are just going to have to exude some confidence. They're going to have to play this right. They have options to get to the other end and to do some serious damage, but I think they're going to have to take care of the game quickly. I don't think STMN are afraid to drag this out.
Yeah, well, good start from Zeta as Gero gets a nice kill. Some great shots on Bobby as well, babies. And the Parasite's already going to be spawning in here. Zara getting some great shots onto Gero, though, but cleaned up on Meow. Great team play from Zeta so far.
Sands now going to have to play defense here, and now he's starting to kick into high gear as Bobby has to play against Meow on the other end. Shadow Realm pick up there, and Sands showing off why that matchup can work at times. Bobby going to have to recover for now, and still big contention in this mid area.
Yeah, well, Bobby being dominated by Meow now, going to get rid of that turret as well, and boosted booster it is, but now he coming forward, great stuff from him, and that's going to be damage on safe, but base race, turret comes down, machine gun turret from Jessie, and Sands got the damage gear activated, massive from them, but also Zeta Division are getting something done, not able to get this down, Energize coming through from Zara as well, and huge from STMN.
And now Bobby's in the mix as well. They're really laying it on to this high safe here. Zara surviving as Meow is forced onto the high safe in his spawn side. Gero on the other end as well. The bounce shot goes through, 1K to go, and it's going to be a toughie here, relying on the Jessie turret to get it done. And STMN in a base race come out on top.
So much better from STMN there. You know, Zeta Division looked so good off the start, but they let it slip. They let a base race happen. Damage gear, Jessie turret, got that machine gun coming through as well with the gadget, and it looks so good for STMN. Zeta had the much better start, more kills, more control, but you can't let a base race like that slip.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a game of chicken, right? You saw that Zeta Division were in the middle of the base race and said, oh, I don't think we're going to come out on top on this one. We got to turn around. And I think at that moment, it was really the point of no return for them. STMN were too late to the gas pedal there, but right now it's about to be a team wipe. The European squad getting some big-time takedowns.
And these poles already being established now by Now. He wants to be able to TP straight to that safe, establishes this third one up top here. Well, should do in just a second, but doesn't really want to reveal himself just yet. Now getting some good shots through, but not in the best of spots against this Jessie with his ego placed up. But at least it's behind him.
STMN took some serious losses here early on, so the fact that they haven't given up any percentage yet is huge. Now he, though, does have that super. already charged up. They're just holding on to the mid, now gonna activate it, sees a weak Bobby, takes his opportunity, picks up a kill here. Zar firing some shots down and finally gets the last pull connected to that high safe. That's where things can start to get really scary for STM inside.
The pinch was gonna come in, so now he goes towards his post and goes all the way back, chugging down that train line. But now, maybe try to get some work done against Bobby as STMN start to fight back. Zeta with some good shots through. They're just levitating over this water, and now he's going to go in. Oh, I think that was Rel missed by Sands there. Now he gets out, but not going to go any further than that. Not without some damage along the way, though. They've already done a lot to the safe.
It's tough, too, at a professional level. Missed shots like that can add up to extra percentage points. We saw in game number 1, once STMN got a breakaway, they were good to go. So sometimes one offensive threat is all it takes. But right now, they just have to find a way to this high safe, and this is their first real opportunity. Jessie powering up her turret, the damage piling on now, and it's still continuing to go. 8-bit in the mix as well, and it's going to be a big threat here. 50% now less to go for STMN.
I mean, that's all it needs for STMN to take the lead. Zeta have to be way more careful when defending this. Now he's going to be able to come back to this mid now. Ego and freeze frame on the left-hand side. Sands can't get it done against Meow on the right. Garo's going to be able to tank a few shots here, but it did go up towards his baby rather than Meow, which is good for Zeta. They re-establish control and do have the lead and the control with 30 seconds on the clock.
2%, all the difference in the world, and now he goes to the underworld. Now Sands with a big pickup here and perfectly timed as well. They needed that defense, and it opens a lane on the left-hand side. Bobby piling it up here. The credits going down. Sands in the mid now. Garo have to respond, but it's all STMN for now. Chuck going to the other end. Shots piling up for STMN. Turret on the ground as well. It's neck and neck, back and forth right now, but STMN clears the way. We've got a tie ball game.
Just as Zeta were looking good, STMN strike twice. Beautiful pushes from them, and Zeta had the control pretty much all the way through, but all it needs is an 8-bit turret, an 8-bit and a Jessie to get the job done, and STMN played that perfectly. They knew they weren't going to have control all the way through, and they just took their moments.
I mean, we talked about it pre-draft phase, right? It was hard to get nitpicky at all. Matchups, check. Defensive option, check. Perfect matchups in the Zeta division, check. I mean, it just felt like STMN were set up from the get-go, and even in like games number 2 early on, where little bit of a struggle to get control, right? The second they got through that wall, they just had options. They have a Jessie turret. They have 8-bit, especially if you get them that extra damage. Things got out of hand so quickly.
I mean, we've got to talk about that draft, because it wasn't like STMN counterpicked them. They counterpicked themselves. And that's what I was so confused about. I don't know if they kind of thought, oh, we've got Chuck, we can do it anyway, we'll make something happen. But that's just not how it played out for them. Yes, they had control off the start. Yes, they looked decent. But as soon as STMN started going, you know that it's going to be over for Zeta Division. They had the matchup, and they had the base race capability.
Yeah, hard to say what they were looking for there. I mean, Cordelius, of course, that first overall pick, and then immediately into the Chuck. I think it was probably just the strategy from the get-go, a vote of confidence. This has worked before. This is going to have to be what we do. And the defense of Zeta Division, they did have a lot of kills, but unfortunately for this game mode, that doesn't super matter. It's all about getting that high safe damage, and STMN just simply did that better.
Yeah, some good crowd reactions in there as well, getting hyped up for STMN. Clearly have the fan support. Kill-wise and stat-wise, though, 533 for the side of STMN, 182, 192, and 319 from Bobby. Great performance out of him. But top DPS and top kills both go to Meow and still come out on the bottom.
Yeah, back-to-back sets where Meow's just simply putting up numbers. A phenomenal player and showing up on the big day. But again, for STMN, kills weren't what they needed. And I think the fact that Zeta Division really felt like they had a couple players piling them on just reflects how good the offense was from STMN there. In a mode like that, that is so important. And as we move forward onto Ring of Fire, I think Zeta Division are really going to have to reflect on that. You know, you can be confident in your strategy, but against the world's best, sometimes you really got to think through, hey, we're getting countered by some of the best dudes in the world. Maybe we should think differently. Maybe we should play into the matchups. There's a lot to juggle in this draft phase. I think we're really starting to learn that on set number 3 here today.
Well, Ring of Fire and Hot Zone will be a mode where one of them will move ahead once more. It's going to be 2-1 after this one, depending on who will go to is the question. Blue going to be an absolute fiend on this map. I'm sure it's probably going to be banned out instantly by the team who doesn't have that first pick, and more than likely along with Charlie.
Lose a must ban for me here. He was the #1 played brawler yesterday, a top 3 ban yesterday, and this mode is somewhere he can absolutely shine. His super covers the entire map. Now we add into the mix that his hypercharge can freeze an opponent instantly. Again, we saw what it could do earlier today, even piling up kills for teams if necessary. Gray, a good shout to me as well. I think Gray is a very slept-on brawler right now, and especially in a mode where you are relying on getting to the point of interest very quickly in the mid there. Gray is somebody that can allow you to do that. Pam going to be our first overall selection. I think a very safe and square pick. I love it for pick #1.
Yeah, great pick. And as you say, #1 pick, it's kind of the smart decision. You've got to go for something safe, something that can't really be countered that much. Yes, it can be countered, but it's always going to have legs no matter what matchup that Pam's in. That's the thing. Close range DPS, long range spray, able to keep people quite low. So I think that's a solid pick from STMN from their #1. Zeta Division now have these next 2. Need to try and counter it out, but also need to think a bit further down the line as well. I like the Rosa ban from both sides. I think that's very solid as well. But Colette is one of the brawlers that does counter Pam, but still not really the best brawler on Ring of Fire. Kind of just a counter brawler.
I think this is a pretty solid pairing from Zeta Division, though. I imagine that Stu is going to bring in the speed zone here. Colette is something that can threaten high health point brawlers, somebody like Pam, for example. And like you mentioned, too, it's very hard to have a direct counter into Pam, but I think Colette and Stu as a pairing is just a powerful combination for this map.
Yeah, it's a great pair. STMN going to bring in the Bell, though. Bit of bounces between them, might get rid of some speed zones along the way, and a Mr. P coming in once more. Didn't work out too well in that first set, but obviously against Colette, against Stu, those porters coming in, definitely going to do a lot of work, tanking that single range shot, that single projectile, should I say, of Colette. And Stu, yes, he can clean him up a little bit faster than Colette, but at the same time, it's going to be very obstructive for him.
Curious to see what Zeta Division go here. I've seen Chuck show up a good bit here, and 2 of these matchups, not necessarily sure that's what they're going to want. They're actually going to go with Carl here, who I feel like is still a really solid brawler overall, but definitely not somebody we've seen much this weekend.
You know, I look at this STMN comp and it just looks so diverse. It looks really solid to me. I like the way that they've shaped up, but the Carl is really scary for me, actually, especially for the side of that STMN roster, because they've got the Mr. P, gonna dominate that as soon as the flying hook comes in. Same with the Pam as well. Can't really do too much against the Carl who's spinning around because it takes so long to get that shot out, and it's only going in one direction.
Yeah, I got to think Carl's just a solid brawler for this map. Pretty decent in the meta, and then seeing Mr. P with all of his spawners, of course, with the pickaxe, he's going to be able to slice right through it. 1-1 overall, kicking off set #3 of our first match of the day. This one is very important.
Yeah, it really is. Well, Gotcha was already popped there from Zeta Division, has that gadget over his head, but not getting most value out of it. Gyro's sliding around this right-hand side, now going to be in the 1v1 versus the Pam, but as soon as he gets the super, he should be doing all right. Managed to grab it now and gets the kill on the way. Meow cleans up the left, and Bobby left alone.
Meow initiating contact on the left-hand end with a dash forward, a perfectly placed super. Bobby started strong there, has the nest eggs, took down the speed zone. Now he really hasn't been able to generate any supers to get aggressive, which is Stu's biggest strength. I think STMN, despite being down a little bit, are still very much in it. Ooh, a nice tag there from Bobby, a pickup from Zar as well. Now complete control for STMN.
Oh, Meow's flown under the radar beautifully there, and he's really been the star man so far from Zeta Division. Gyro's going to be able to pick up that turret, but instantly replaced by Sands, getting some good shots through. Spin now comes in, might be able to get Bobby, but actually falls short. Super was eventually grasped by Nowie here, and same from Meow, he comes through with the hypercharge. He's making all the moves for Zeta, and he's coming through massively for them. Should be able to take the lead now. Huge play from him, saving Zeta.
3 blue brawlers standing strong right now. Meow has been something to watch. They're sending 2 to address him. A super going down, a pickup of 1. He's going to get a trade. Nowie, Gyro, going to be able to keep hunkering down in the mid here. They're well past 60%. Huge advantage to Zeta Division right now.
Gyro almost gets 2 as well. Bobby falls low, can't really aggress. Porter's now coming forwards, but with the 2 of them there, shouldn't really be doing too much. Mark directly onto Nowie. 20% left for Zeta Division. About 45 or 55 now for STMN. They've got to make a huge comeback, and they're getting control. Porter's established further up from Zar as well, and a mark missed by Bobby.
The expert marksman and Bobby gonna have to hit some serious shots right now. Not a lot left for Zeta Division, but STMN with a real opportunity every time Meow dives in as well with that super. He makes contact great, but it's extra percentage points as well as now Meow skates up the map alongside Nowie there. Little tailspin from Gyro, and they're well above 90 at this point. STMN back to the mid with a lot of work to do.
I mean, the Porter just cleaned up Naui on the bottom side. Sans slotting back in, trying to keep Gero out these back lines, stopping him from coming in. Meow goes in way too aggressive, and now it's 95 to 94. Gero sweeps in. Oh, he gets it done. He gets it. 100 to 99. And Zeta take it.
Unbelievable here. What a close call. I really thought STMN were going to be able to clutch that up, but the boys over in Zeta Division, ice in their veins, show up when it matters most for a set number 3. STMN on their back heels now.
What a play from Zeta Division. Pure brilliance coming in from Gero in the closing seconds of the first game of Ring of Fire. Starting from square one once again though. STMN coming through the mid, but now he with some good chains. Gassy Heel comes along, but he does fall anyway.
The best competition in the world, bringing out the best in both of these teams right now, as Meow, a star player so far here today, is trying to keep the pressure alive. Now he dashing back and forth right now. Bobby dipping his toes in. Sans now, the beefy brawler with 9,600 HP, clearly established alongside that healing station. He's even willing to defend the healing station. They're going to send Meow in to use a super just to get rid of it as a scrap sucker goes down. A great counter into Stu here, but they still survive. Nonetheless, though, STMN mean business right now. They are close to 50.
Well, spin comes in from Gero on that right-hand side. Does have to back off, though. Uses it as an escape mechanism rather than going aggressive. Now he's falling low. Is going to go down as well. Sent back to spawn by Sans. Gero's going to fall too, but here comes the hypercharge. Spirit following shortly behind. Gets the kill and keeps some control for his team. 30% behind, though, and Bobby's still sitting in the mid.
Good on Bobby to start rotating in here. The objective is to getting into that hot zone, and even if you're trading Brawler, Sans can pick up a lot of time here with the amount of health points he has. Multitasking right now with Gero. Meow hitting shots. Star on the left hand in, trying to get some extra tags, and Zeta slowly climbing their way back into this as Meow establishes a little more control. A missed dash, but now Naui there to help.
Yeah, I mean, Meow did a great job there to deflate some pressure. Turret coming in, Gero's going to use that flying hook forwards, join Naui on this right-hand side, try pinch down, but it gets him killed rather than doing anything helpful. Gero's going to be able to sweep in and get that as well. Nice spin from him, should fall down. Great shots from Sans coming in now, and they're walking away with the lead.
Stamina this time with a little bit of a lead. Hypercharge inbounds though in the backhand end as well. Another one going down as well. Make it 2. Meow with the pop off here. It's becoming closer and closer as Bobby hits a nice and very pivotal super here. It's going to come down to the wire once again.
Mr. P-Port's coming in now. That's going to be hard for now. He needs to make an escape, but can't get anywhere. Gero, last flying hook, trying to get the super, gets it again, trying to make the same move as last game, but this time, it's not happening. And STMN even out hot zone.
You can feel the energy from the crowd here. After the games, they're loud, but everybody holding their breath right now. This is about as intense as it gets for a World Finals match.
Great stuff from STMN to bring this back then. Gero trying to make the same move again towards the end of the game, but not happening this time. And I will say, it really is Meow making a lot of the moves. Same with Gero. Now he's playing it well as well, but I feel like he's got to be a bit more careful with a few of these dashes. Seems to be over-aggressing a little bit in my eyes.
Got to have a perfect start here, making sure you establish control. Start off with a little bit of a lead, and even some pickups early can make a huge difference. Azar looks to accomplish that for his team. Strikes Gero, and now it's going to be a 3v2 situation. Sans with a decent amount of HP here too. Popping a scrap sucker a little preemptively too. Those gadgets are very valuable as well. And it's basically a tie ball game right now as both teams are continuing to contest for the mid.
Meow gets marked, but does get the kill. Gero going to come around the right-hand side, and a team wipe for Zeta Division. One by one, all of STMN fall, and Zeta claim control.
What a play there from Zeta Division. A strong lead here now in game number 3 as STMN looks to get back into their footing. They're going to have to deal with a strong Gero though, and they finally take it down. Meow looking for a strike as well, doesn't quite get it there. Naui super available, back and forth right now as they try and isolate that brawler, and now STMN climbing towards that 30% marker with a lot of work to go.
Meow has this hypercharge now. STMN have to be careful, but a marked up Gero over-aggresses down the right-hand side. Turret established by Sans once more, going to provide some heals. And Meow forced to back off yet again. Speed zone goes down, now he has to back off. But the bell bounces, causing a lot of issues for Zeta.
Nice tag there from Bobby. He has been making those supers count, and now it's STMN with the lead here. Zeta on their back heels. They can't even touch the grass for all their brawlers, but I do see Meow with a hypercharge here. Now he's trying to push up as well, and here comes Meow as well. Super goes down. Not a ton of connections, but a final final blow from the grave as well as Garo gets involved here. It's going to be a tag for him, a strike as well, and now Meow looking to pinch here. The Porter clutching up as well, providing a shield for STMN. Scrapsucker going down as well, and they're going to be able to overwhelm them with HP for a moment, but Zeta Division are back.
10%'s all that's needed for STMN. Garo survives for so long. Now Zeta come in. Super there for Meow. Gonna go for it as well, but it's not enough. STMN take Hot Zone and move 2-1 up.
Stamina down 1%, literally came down to the final moment in game number 1. Zeta Division nearly stole a set from them. Instead, though, they dig deep, put their heels in the ground, and get control of set number 3. This is huge. They now go into set number 4, a little less pressure off them, and going into the European number 1 seed. This is big for establishing this Group C.
STMN dig deep. They come from behind in Hot Zone. Surely got to be a bit of a mental issue when you lose by 1%. A brilliant play by Garo, and I hope we see it here again, because it was time and time again getting kills, but just not getting the percentage overall for the side of Zeta. And here it is. Look at this. I thought the Pam turret was going to kill him as well. I thought he was going to die right there, but I think the shield maybe kept him alive, because obviously it dampens that damage. Every little interaction was just brilliant in this game, and this is the best Brawl's got to offer in 2023.
You can even see the reaction from the STMN side, just shaking their heads. Unbelievable stuff. I believe it was 86 HP. That's about as close of a call as I've maybe ever seen. Garo and the Carl, though, made a huge difference throughout that. STMN do squeeze by there in the final 2 games. A lot of excitement going down as well. Can't ask for much better from a Brawl Stars match.
Hearing some of those comms as well. STMN getting hyped, playing together brilliantly as a team in the closing seconds of some of those games. 5-3-3 for STMN here, 2-8-6. And yes, Meow and Garo played brilliantly through that one on a couple of those brawlers. But now, you know, he's the glue. He's the one making some of the plays. He's the one playing that stew in the mid, and you can't really expect too much from that stew.
Yeah, 3 straight sets of Meow just popping off here. And STMN, I feel like, have just been 3 consistent guys right now. They're playing as a unit, everybody doing their part here, firing on all cylinders from this side, and now some smiles going down as well. That's a big deal. The mood seemingly good. And now it's Zeta Division with all of the pressure. They have to win 2 straight sets here. And just after watching these first 3 that we've had, it has taken everything just to get 1 set at a time.
And it's anybody's game. That's the thing. Although STMN need 1, Zeta Division can quite easily get 2. That's the thing. It's so close between these 2 teams, but we're heading into knockout, out in the open. Should slow down the pace after that one. Give me and Kenny a little bit of time to catch our breaths, because that last set was genuinely incredible.
Oh, it's been something else, man. And I mean, this is exactly what we expected. On day number 1, you know, we talked about how good it was going to be, and the caster Hive Mind had a pretty good feel of what was going to happen, but I think all of us could agree, coming into Group C, coming into Group D, all of these teams have been so darn good this year. Some powerhouses in the Brawl Stars universe, and STMN 1 away from starting this group stage off 1-0 here after coming off a semi-finals performance in Worlds last year, and Meg is somebody fierce right now. This is a brawler that when talking to players, they really like having this for the mode because of how much HP Meg can bring to the table. If that storm starts to close in, heavy firepower, a lot of health points. And guess what? Even if you take down the big robot, you still got Meg and a pistol when she comes out of that form.
Hey, you know me, I'm not going to make any comments, but if you're an avid Brawl Stars watcher, you know what I'm thinking. You know what I'm thinking. That's all I'm saying. Bans, though, they're looking pretty solid. Charlie banned out, as well as obviously the Lou. I think those are the 2 obvious bans at this point, regardless of the map. But STMN coming in with the Piper, feeling confident, feeling bold, and we know any of those players in STMN could pick up that brawler and put on a show.
Yeah, Bobby and Zara, 2 notable sharpshooters with the Piper over the long history of Brawl Stars up to this point, so I'm very excited to see that brawler. It's good on this map. I think they're looking for some high damage here, maybe some other brawlers to keep in mind as well, and I think that might have been part of the influence for why they banned Nani. 1, because it's so good here, but it's a good brawler on this map. They are really good at using it. Why the heck not, right?
Gray doing his little dancey dance, and we know Sans can pick up that brawler and make some serious moves. We've seen it in the past, and I'm sure we'll see it again now. Zeta Division back over to them for the next couple of picks, and then STMN will have the final say in this draft. Out in the open is the map. We'll see if Zeta Division choose to continue this kind of aggressive stance on it, I feel, rather than play a bit more of a sharpshooter, or if they'll pivot a little bit and try contest against this Piper. Yes, Nani's banned out. It's going to be very difficult. We've still got some on the on the picks. We could go with Brock, those kind of sharpshooter brawlers, but we're going to see a Jean. I do like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking out for a Pam here as well, I think. I see two sharpshooters. I see a brawler that could potentially have a lot of health points, healing station, and I think that bigging up Jean here, a common counter into somebody like Piper could be really good. They may be looking for spawners as well, like Mr. P here. I think they're going to have to really round out their composition here with STM, and obviously depending on what this pick number 5 is, but I do think Zeta Division have great options available.
Still a lot to choose from for both of these sides here. Zeta Division do have this next pick. 2 seconds left to make it. It's going to be the Brock. We knew that it was kind of still looming. The long range can break the wall, give them a bit of an advantage in the start, and especially if you can get Meg a bit more aggressive, give her a bit more of a chance to get forwards, then I think it's a solid pick. You know, with that wall break, send her straight through. But STMN definitely going to have something to say.
I wonder if STMN get aggressive here. I mean, I see Brock, who's a little bit of a squishier brawler. Jean, who doesn't deal the best with brawlers up close in the face, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to go with Buster here. They also have the deflector as well, so if there are incoming rockets, projectiles from Jean, or if it's just the heavy firepower of Meow on the Meg, assuming he plays it, Buster can really help with that. So I think 2 very different compositions, but I see the merit in both.
Well, STMN can close it out. Or Zeta Division can bring it back and play as set number 5. Don't think this game could really get any closer. I'm dreaming to see a set 5 here. Sadly, cheering for Zeta Division in this set, that means. But at the same time, either of them can win it.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned before, getting 1 set has taken everything here, and to be expected, some wall breaks going down for both sides. And we're going to get kicking off here a much more aggressive start than we're used to seeing as well. Gray utilizing a gadget that we don't always see. He's going to be throwing down the grand piano here, trying to get that. And Garo making a nice connection as well, so it's going to be STMN a little bit on the defensive here, as Sans already has a super charged up.
Well, here he is then, obviously getting it from charging it by stood next to his teammates. It is going to go down, and now he didn't waste his ammo shooting it. So we'll have some to back him off in the end. 2v1 down this right-hand side. But Meow and Garo trying to give the same treatment to Bobby on the left.
Looked like Sans was trying to kind of walk his team forward, get some control. The problem is, though, that Meg still outranges Buster, and then you have to rely on Zar to hit a lot of tags on the Meg. I think that matchup's going to be a little bit of a toughie for him here, as once again, it's back to Zeta Division in control. Sans doing the same thing, walking up the right-hand side. A nice TP, though, a pull on the other end is, though, and it's in trouble. Makes the connection there. It's just alone now. It's going to be Zar. Bobby going to be able to pick up this round for STMN as they close things out in the fog.
Yeah, he knows he can't win that one, and a great connection from Piper there to be able to take down the slowed down Jean. Great stuff from him, but 3 supers ready to roll for the side of STMN and none for Zeta. That can't feel good.
Reset now. Round number 2. Zeta Division need to go 2 straight here. They can't afford to give STMN, a powerhouse of a team, an early lead here. Bobby, super in hand, Sans, Zar, all 3 of them equipped, and now they're going to be walking forward, rushing it down, a little W key action going in, but the pull going through, Sans tries to counter, Zar with the TP though, Meow is weak, they have to find a way to get in there, Zar had another TP, but didn't get out in time, they strike first, and now it's Bobby, in a very difficult situation, 2 brawlers that can arguably do so well into him.
That was really cool from Bobby. TP in, jump out, trying to get some damage with those bombs, but didn't find anything. And it was Naui and Meow who now are able to heal up. Bobby just doesn't want to feed these supers, retreats back into the gas, and accepting defeat in this round. Back even.
I think that was really strategical from him too. And yeah, Gray did end up having a teleport there. I think was trying to get away, get in, get out situation. But Zeta Division had too quick of reflexes there. It's now going to be a 1-1 in our very opening game of set number 4.
Rocket Rain ready to roll from Garo here. Pull available as well, and that's flown under the radar too. They're not going to know he's got it. Well, with that connecting homemade recipe, they are. Now he's just trying to deflate some pressure after that hit. Did connect to Meow. Got to be cautious about this pull, because that is going to be the game changer for Zeta.
Both sides are equipped with supers as well, something that makes a huge difference in this game mode, especially towards those in games. Another nice connection as well. Bobby, low HP though, is forced to dive away, does manage to survive, but as a result, Zeta Division are going to have some control.
Garo raining fire on Sans, but makes no connections whatsoever. Restarting on this Gene pull, they're not helpful in the decisive round. Sans in the back. Going to be pinching round with the shield now as well. Going to use that, but really not gain much ground from it. Now we're going to be so helpful in these closing seconds, just as Sans is. And Garo needs to keep on peppering down, needs to keep him low. Meow doing the same. Sans cannot be allowed to heal it, and they're doing a good job of it.
And now the fog starting to close in. This is where things get intense. Stamina strike first. The TB through the response back. Sans with the pull. Now deflecting, but the fog closing in, and the fog getting the kill there. Zeta Division survive and pick up the first game.
And how close it was as well. I didn't even see how Piper managed to die. I'm not sure how he went down, but it was obviously up top, some connections made. But it looked like an STMN round to me. When it was closing in, Buster's still alive. You expect STMN to take it, but Zeta Division made it happen.
Again, it's almost like Meg has 2 lives towards those end games. It's something really difficult to take care of. You got to deal with the robot, and then you got to deal with the regular brawler as well. As once again, STMN kicking things off with some wall break strategy. Garo on the other end wants to open things up, and Zar just letting it loose. Even makes the connection as well. That's actually going to be a takedown for both ends. Now it's a 2v2.
Well, Sans trying to get some shots onto Naui here, wants his shield, but Bobby's going to try and provide that to him. Meow is going to be the one with the influential super, though, trying to get it. Now he just pinching round, working towards that swing that deals so much. And Bobby, not able to do too much winning the spawn, so chooses to flank left.
And still a lot of time for the Fog to really start making a difference here, but Naui and Meow in control as Bobby looks to let loose on the left, going for the more open space as a sharpshooter. Naui just establishing dominance on this right-hand end. Sans does have a super. He's now going to try and walk it forward as well as Meow gets the pull off. Bobby forces a super out. The get out of jail free card is now going to put him in a 1v1 situation as now he has the HP going to walk it forward. The Fog closing in, and Bobby knows the inevitable, a little heart as he goes to the grave.
One more for the heavily desired set number 5 for Zeta. 1 game, 1 round up against STMN. A long road for them to close this one out. And Zeta looking strong. Rocket Fuel comes through, breaks up some of that grass, but at the same time, we see a homemade recipe not really doing too much. Gadget used by Naui, going to get some heals from that Rocket Rain on the left. Hits 1 shot onto Sans, but not a lot return on that.
Sans going to be moving forward to try and body block this for Zar. That was a real difficult situation for them. Keep in mind, Bobby with no super to get out of this. He's going to be moving to the left. Now a pull going through as well. Sans throwing at the block. The pull as well. Now he getting taken up here. Zar with a kill on the right hand. And now he low HP now. The connections from STMN. The teamwork going through. A team wipe to pile it all up.
And how quickly that changed as well. Zeta Division looked dominant. They looked like they were going to take this set, but STMN said no, they're not done in knockout yet. Zar ready with his TP as well. Sans got the shield, Bobby with the jump, and only the swing available from Naui.
3 supers available now for STMN as well. Naui with 1 in the back pocket, but Meow and Garo have 2 that can be big difference makers here. Even though STMN are on their heels right now, Bobby is now letting loose a little bit, going towards this left-hand end as now he rotates over. They have a teleport available. Zeta Division need to regroup here.
Yeah, they really do. And it looks like they are doing quite well. Gene providing some heals to the Brock, allowing him to stay in the mix. But this TP has been pretty much the issue for Garo all the way through on this Brock. This TP in 2 shots, 3 shots, and he does go down. Pull, but jumped over. Pixel perfect from Bobby. Sans has this barricade as well, though. Zar has to retreat, trying to heal up. But Zeta continue this aggression. Shield gonna provide a lot of space. But now the pull comes in. Buster got the slow. 1 more shot to Bobby, but 1 more for Meow. He goes down. Now he missed the shot, but now coming in. The swing, he's there. But the TP, no heal. Using the other star power. And now he gets it. Set 5, inbound.
Holy cow, what a set on our hands. The 2 lives from Meg really showing off there. Everybody on Zeta Division side can take a deep breath for now. But it's all coming down to this. Fans of set 5 across the world are rejoicing. This is going to be a special match.
Back and forward, back and forward. Zeta Division and STMN putting on a show for the 2nd day of the Brawl Stars World Finals. Brilliance from both sides, and it'll all be settled right here.
This is only match number 1 of the day, by the way. I expect 6 straight just nail biters like this all day long. Both of these teams bringing their best here in this set. I was really impressed. We had some insane pulls, some pulls for Sans as well, some tags, some sharpshooter shots. It had everything I love about Brawl Stars. Both of these teams are just absolutely phenomenal.
They really are, and I mean, Zeta have been off form, STMN have been heavily on form, and both these teams showing their absolute best here at the World Finals. Some great moments from both these teams, and as you say, it's like Meg has 2 lives, and you know, you said it in one of the earlier rounds, but in the last, it meant the most.
Yeah, it's just such a powerful item to have for you, the utility it can bring to the table, and I think it's why so many people are starting to prioritize this brawler. You know, even somebody like Bobby, if you're hitting the sharp shots, it's great. Ton of damage for Piper. But with Meg, you got 2 lives, you even get the shield in the mix as well at times. It's just a very strong force in this game mode. And this time, across the board, I think for both sides, everybody looking to be competitors in the numbers category.
I mean, the thing is as well, we just heard some comms from both of the teams, and you can see the different, strategies of them. STMN, they're loud, they're aggressive, and that's how they play in game as well. And Zeta Vision, calm, composed, just a nice little nice, nice, well played. It was huge. We get set 5, we might be able to win, but nice. That's how it is for Zeta Vision, though. Calm and composed, and I mean, it works for them, so why not?
Yeah, 2 very different looks at the competitive drive of these 2 teams, and it's all going to come down to one final set. We've got Super Beach on the way, some Brawl Ball action going down, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds here.
Well, this is the game, the set to decide this first game at Group C. Super Beach in Brawl Ball. Huge map for both of these teams, but I can't help feeling that Brawl Ball does kind of favor the STMN playstyle.
I love it. They've got some aggressive W key style. They've really embraced the way the meta works this year. But Zeta Division, they've shown up today too. It's going to take everything from both of these teams here in the final set. The crowd really getting amped up, the arena being filled too. Everybody on the edge of their seat right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely something the fans really love in this game, clearly as well, because it's so close between these evenly matched teams. Should be hopping into the draft very, very shortly to see what brawlers these guys will be playing in the decider. Sans just getting ready to roll. Been playing his heart out today, and the rest of STMN have too. And their energy, it's infectious.
Yeah, I respect the drip as well. I saw the ice on the wrist.
The double watch. One on each wrist.
I mean, got to show up. Confidence is key, Trav. Confidence is key. Got to look good, feel good, and they're going to have to feel really good on Super Beach here. As the bands come in, there's going to be a Dynamite band, Shelly, Maisie, of course, and no surprise on the other end. You could tell that Zeta Division had that first pick because no Charlie, no Lou, no Rosa. STMN shutting any idea of that down real quick.
Yeah, no surprise for it either. The Maisie's really been making a huge impact on the meta at the moment, and it's banned out as well. Shelly going to be along with it. A couple of hypercharges on that side, a couple of hypercharges on the STMN side too. But it is Zeta Vision with this first pick, and I love it. Bit of Sandy.
Sandy is so good in the Brawl Ball meta as well. Keep in mind, too, with the gadget, you immediately put an enemy to sleep. So if you're on the goal side, they're just hanging out. One little gadget, a quick toss into the net, and you've got a free goal on your hands. So they're going to take advantage of that utility. Plus the fact, too, it's just a solid brawler overall. So I think putting your faith in this in a set 5 makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, the plays it can make with the Sweet Dreams are just beautiful. They really are, just shutting people down in the goal mouth and scoring that goal. Willow going to be the return pick. No Dyna? Okay, we'll pivot. We'll take a different thrower. Why not?
I'm interested to see. There it is. I was wondering if Cordelius makes an appearance. I feel like grabbing this on the 2-3 turn makes a lot of sense to me. This is another brawler that I don't want to call it a gimmick, but of course it's similar to Sandy, right? Can put somebody to sleep and get a goal. Cordelius can remove any factor he wants at any given time. Make a connection, take somebody to Shadow Realm. Willow in the same front as well. Can mind control an enemy brawler. You could literally have a self-score like the good old days, Trav, just from a Willow super. So I'm really curious to see if the Zeta Division side responds with a thrower like Barley. Instead, they're going to go with Stu, but they got one more decision to make.
Yeah, I mean, Stu, he can break down those walls with the breakthrough, so even if they don't go for a thrower, there's going to be a way to break through and get rid of those walls so the Willow can't thrive as much as I'm sure she'd like to, and I'm sure STMN would love that Willow to dominate. As you say, make them score some own goals, but Zeta Division's last pick should be coming through shortly. Going to be something pretty solid, I imagine. STMN still seem to be lacking a mid, though, so going to have to go for that. I think you can play Stu through the mid, you can play it through the lane, so let's see the Buster come in, though. And I mean, against the Cordelius, it's tough. It's a tank into a Cordelius. You know you're not going to be having a nice time. But I can't help but feel like Buster's always so good.
Yeah, I feel like Buster's just been consistent lately, too. I really like the Spike matchup originally for them, but like you said, that's not necessarily a traditional mid for the side of STMN, so I think this is going to be a tough decision overall. I think throwing Cordelius, he doesn't have enough range, especially if you let the Stu loose. It's going to get really tough for you if they're cycling out those supers. Now we, of course, too, by picking this brawler, they have a wall break option, and it's going to be Jackie. We've actually seen this brawler this weekend for some Brawl Ball action. I think Jackie actually might be a pretty good shout here.
against the Buster, you know it's a good shot. You know the Jackie against Buster is a great matchup. It's going to feed a lot of those sandstorms, though, and I think that's the saving grace for Zeta Vision, because Jackie runs in a straight line until she gets that super. You know, you get it from being hit, so, you know, get hit, and that's what Sandy likes about Jackie.
If you asked me to open up the year and starting off in our first monthly final, if in a set 5 for the World Finals, one of these teams put their faith in Jackie, I would have called you crazy, but this is 2023, Trav. This is Hypercharge Madness, and this is set number 5, Zeta Division and STMN competing to start this Group 1-0.
Well, Bobby already feeding Meow, but it's not going to matter. Nice Sweet Dreams to shut him down. Stop him, though. Long dash coming in from Gero, too. No Gasser heal will be seen. And Meow should just be 1-2 shots off a super and close to finding it.
This could be a counter push here for Zeta Division. They pass the ball now to Nowie. Meow with the Sweet Dreams and a bucket along with it. Early goal here for Zeta Division.
Sweet Dreams, 2 have already been used, though. Oh, the Realm missed, and the Sandstorm down. Nice long dash coming in from Gero as well, and Bobby just being hit. Yes, he's got that counter crush, but it's not connecting with anybody. One more is all they need, but now he does get controlled by the Willow, pushed back, but still in a solid spot. Bobby might find the opening, long dash to cover it, but the drag back is not enough. Can't find the goal, and a dash from Gero, but he does get killed.
Bobby nearly had the goal of his life. I mean, that was moments away on the goal line. Sands returning to action, though, with a super available. The invisibility going to make things a little tougher. Going to take Nowie down to the Shadow Realm as Bobby looks to scout out Meow. Sands moving forward, marching in the Shadow Realm as Gero up top is going to go against Bobby here, and now dribbling the ball with a hypercharge along with it. Sands heavy fire as well. Super available, a pull as well, throws the ball forward. Meow there to play goalie, though. Sands and Czar now moving in. Shadow Realm, there's a takedown, wide open net, pass to Sands, and an easy bucket in return for STMN.
Bringing it back then, Bobby hypercharge in hand, and every time we've seen this, we've pretty much seen a goal to follow. They're gonna need something special. Willow dropping that gadget, big bomb of damage coming down. Hypercharge, there's double slow, taking them down. Sandstorm for the defense, but Sands there. Great save by Nowie. Gero's all that's left, and a Realm takes him away from the goal. STMN, match point.
What a game number 1. Both teams showcasing why they deserve to stand on this stage, but it's back to business. Everybody silent on the stage. The crowd, anticipation on our feet. This has been incredible. One more game to go, and STMN will keep North America undefeated this weekend.
Well, breakthroughs there, and that's going to help them out massively. I don't think there was a single one last game. Bobby's caught him off guard, and he gets the kill. Sands moving forward, past there too, but Gero's covering the goal. Pull back, but not enough. Saved by Zeta.
Zeta Division surviving for now. As STMN look to keep the offense going. Sands does have an opportunity here. Another wall break going down as well. Czar going to be in trouble, and a takedown there. Meow dropping the super now as Nowie looks to climb up the map. A pass forward, trying to keep that ball control for the Zeta Division side as Bobby creeps forward, trying to disrupt things here as Sands moves up as well. Grabs the ball, dumps it off, takes Nowie down to the Shadow Realm with a pickup as well. And now a breakaway here too. Gero forced back on defense. Willow with the super wide open net. Doesn't use the super shot there, and I'm shocked. Misses the follow through as well. Zeta Division survive.
Hypercharge there, double slow yet again from Bobby. Cleans up, and 1 minute 30 between STMN and the win.
Sands buying his sweet, sweet time here. 1-0 for STMN, a couple supers along with it, an immediate tag into the Shadow Realm as well. Sands taking advantage of the mushrooms up top. Bobby already dishing that ball over to where Sands is standing. He's moving over to the left-hand side. Buster with the pullback. The mind control, no! Now he dumps it in his own net, secures the deal, and STMN catch a victory.
Huge for them. First win of one of the toughest groups in the World Finals. They make it happen, and Zeta Division falls short, but how close they were. So many moments, but STMN reigned victorious.
When it came down to the final moments, Trav, an incredible way to start off day number 2 here as the handshakes go off. STMN, of course, victorious, keeping North America undefeated, but my goodness, Zeta Division are a force to be reckoned with. Nouns, who we're going to see very shortly here, are now fully aware that these two teams are going to be a toughie for them.
Well, Zeta Division still alive, but not in the spot they wanted to be. That is not good for them at all, but STMN off to a beautiful, beautiful start as they do have that initial win in their pocket.
Starting off 1-0 is everything. It's a tone setter. They now have a little bit of a security blanket, right? By winning this matchup, they put the pressure on Zeta Division, because if Zeta Division take an L here in a second, it's secured, it's over. We know how things are going to go down, so Zeta Division are really gonna have to do it all over again here very shortly.
What's that? North America 5-0? In the World Finals so far, you know?
You love it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm European, but that is a convincing statistic to me, Kenny.
It's actually insane, too. And, you know, we did have an interesting year with North America as well. We had North America West, we had North America East. And, of course, you know, European region is the deepest region in the world. I mean, I think it's safe to say. But STMN, the tippy top of North America, these three teams this weekend have just come alive and really showcased how far the region has come as a whole.
Yeah, and I mean, regardless of the split, they seem to be as strong as they have ever been. Brilliant moments, but look at this as well. He gets the drag back, gets him off the ball, but the Willow control seals the deal for STMN, and look how much it means to them. Even the first win in this group means that much. Statistics-wise, though, San 6, Bobby 8, Zar 4, and Zeta over the other side, just not comparable.
Bobby on the Jackie, little pop-off there. I mean, top fragger, exactly what you need to do as the big tanky brawler. Look, like I said before, Jackie is a solid brawler, but it's very map-dependent right now. And to me, you have to exude confidence in that pick. This is the World Finals. There is no room for error, and putting your faith in a brawler historically, that hasn't always been great. That's a little scary, but these boys are simply built different. I have mad respect for making that decision, and it ended up being a huge reason why STMN are kicking off the day 1-0.
Yeah, I mean, that Jackie, bold, but it works. When it works, it works, and it's worked so many times. Let's take a look at the MVP then, because, you know, I've got a bit of a hunch of who it might be after that last one. Well, actually, I was incorrect, but Slams it is. And I mean, he made some great plays. He made some really, really solid plays, almost clutched some games up in knockout, and throughout the entire series, really was a very, very solid player.
Maybe the people at home just noticed along with us of the double drip on the wrist there. I mean, can't say anything less. At least he's looking good, but he's also playing well on the field as well. Unbelievable start here. A thriller of a match to kick things off. And to be honest with you, Trav, I kind of expect the same thing for our following matches as well.
All of the matches today are going to be brilliant. Group C and Group D, every single match of 50-50. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get 6 best-of-5s going all the way today.
You're not going to upset me if we get that. Look, I think the people at home are Set 5 fans as well. I can't get enough of the good Brawl Stars action. Kicking off yesterday was already phenomenal, right? But taking a step up today. This is some serious elevated competition here on day number 2.
I mean, I feel for Zeta Division, I really do, but STMN thoroughly deserved that win. Zeta still have a chance. They've got to beat Nouns. They've got to, you know, hope that it doesn't go to that tiebreak, because you don't want to be dropping those kind of sets. I mean, at least they got some back. You don't want to be taking these losses, so it's a little bit tough for them. But we are going to take a bit of a look at the updated group, see where people lie in. Yes, it's only after one match, but Nouns Esports sitting in the middle, haven't played yet, will be up next. STMN 1-0, Zeta Division 0-1 to kick off the day.
Yeah, Zeta Division have to make a turnaround here. This is going to really dictate how this final match goes. We haven't had a situation yet where we've had a tie of 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. Obviously, we have tiebreaker rules for that, but STMN, if they win one, set and secured here if they win their final match, which will be the 3rd match of this group. But for now, Zeta Division in a must-win situation. Otherwise, we're going to have a possibility of the #1 seed in Europe going home before the single elimination bracket.
And that would be devastating, but that is 1 game down. 5 more bangers still to go. But we've got a bit of behind-the-scenes action for you, so let's take a browse.
Welcome to the behind the scenes at the Brawl Stars World Finals 2023. Behind me are the player lounges. This is where the players will be doing their scrims and such. We've got like a couple of rooms. Maybe we can check out like a little bit as well, as you guys can see just through here. Like this is where the teams will be sitting down, doing the scrims, watching the matches as well. And really nice and clean. Everyone just being able to relax and just be able to be as productive as they possibly can. It's super casual, you know, really, really nice. Got the iPad set out here, and got the gaming chairs, fruit, Pedro, and the players, of course, and the staffing team. Yeah, really just a nice chill environment. Everyone's having a blast, and for me, that's what makes the World Finals so great. You know, it's just a really nice combination of everyone coming together. We don't get to do it very often throughout the course of the year, so to be able to do it like this and just have so many facilities to be able to support all the players with everything they've got to be able to achieve. There's a lot of stress that comes along with the World Finals, a lot of responsibility, so making sure that everyone's comfortable is the most important thing for us. So there you have it, a little glimpse behind the scenes here at the Brawl Stars World Finals. Pay attention to the social media, we've got more backstage content still to come, but as you can see, everyone's having a blast. Stay tuned for more.
Yeah, good to hear from Mark there as he takes you behind the scenes here at the Brawl Stars World Finals 2023. I'm Mitch Leslie now, of course, joined by Mr. Kung Fu Kenny. What a matchup to start up Group C. We knew this was going to be the group of death, but my goodness, it was deadlier than we could have expected. But for those who are trying to chill a little bit, maybe get out of the maelstrom of action that's been happening here at the stage, we've got some fantastic areas to chill. So if you are here at DreamHack, whether across the venue or right outside, come on through, hang out with us because it gets better. I can't believe I'm saying that, Kenny. It gets better.
I mean, we were living the life here on the Brawl Stars World Finals. Match number 1. I said before this started, I thought today was going to be maybe the greatest day of Brawl Stars we've had to date. And I think match number 1, huge tone setter for that. And there's a real possibility of that. This second match, though, is going to be absolutely insane. Zeta Division and Nouns are going to have a big battle ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, worth mentioning, of course, Zeta Division having to really recoup very quickly off the back of that crushing loss to STMN. Remember, they let that bell through one too many times there. But again, Nouns are a team that normally we talk about how they play in that South American region, obviously primarily Brazilian team. They, though,